Hi, good afternoon, and welcome to the first Creative Minds Conference. My name is Habiba, and this is Anna, and we are events officers of the Students' Union. So we'd like to thank everyone for coming here today and for the speakers to come in. We can't wait to hear what you have to say. So Anna and I wanted to put this conference together because we're just like you. We are creative students who want to find a way to make a career out of a passion. But we also know that it can be really daunting, especially if you think you might want to start your own business and be your own boss, which is why we've brought together successful entrepreneurs, independent businesses, and freelancing professionals to share their stories and experiences. In the panel discussions and presentations that are going to take place today, we hope that you'll get some of the information you need to get started on your creative career. We hope, an idea of what to expect from working for yourself and a ton of inspiration of what can be achieved. We'll discuss the creative community here in Leeds and the North and how to work with and access this community for support when you need it. We hope that you'll come away from today feeling inspired and empowered by the speakers you hear from and learn from the real-world experiences and knowledge to help you go forward. We'll have a minute of silence for the Manchester tragedy last night. Right, so to kick off the day, it gives me great pleasure to introduce you our keynote speaker, Luke Hodson, co-founder and director of Awesome Merchandise and Awesome Distro, and also Merched.
Hey. So press the little button. Cool. Sorry, technical difficulties. Hey everybody, what's up? I'm excited to be here today and thank you very much for having me come and speak to you. My name's Luke and I'm co-founder of a company called Awesome Merchandise that's based here in Leeds. And I'm going to kind of share a little bit about our kind of story and a few of kind of my ideas about what it means to be kind of a creative or to start a business in 2017. And I'm going to start by excusing myself for the fonts. So this looked different, but it's cool. We'll roll with it. So I'm going to start with kind of quite a bold statement, and I'm going to say that right now is the best time in the history of the universe probably to either start a business or to do something creative with your life. And that's good news if, like me, you kind of want to be a business person. Or, yeah, I think even if you do want to kind of just start your own thing, it's you can kind of take the opportunities that are kind of around today and be like this guy. He's one of my favorite. We bring this up in the office quite a bit when some like business things go down. And why am I kind of making this kind of bold statement that like 2017 is the best time ever to be alive if you want to run a business or to do something creative? Well, it's called the internet. And basically, what I think is that you've got all these kind of platforms today that you didn't have even like 15 or 20 years ago. Things like Instagram, Google, Twitter, through to Etsy, Dribbble, Snapchat. I could keep going on and on and on, but we've got all these kind of platforms today that give you access to a massive range of people, and you can leverage those to either sell things or to present yourself in a way that kind of builds an audience or eventually a customer base. And I kind of was thinking about it, and I thought really the internet amplifies creativity in business in a way that like entrepreneurs or like creative people, basically they wouldn't have had the opportunity that you have today, really. Like 20 years ago, 30 years ago, you had a yellow pages and like a massive cost to entry to many things. Today, you can leverage Instagram, for instance, and start a business off the back of building an audience there. And that really kind of brings me on to the story of awesome merchandise. And I think this idea of using the internet to kind of sell stuff and to like build an audience and a customer base. Oh, there we go. Here we go. We're back. It's really, that idea is really the story of awesome merchandise and kind of where we are today. So I'm going to share a little bit about about our story and kind of how we've developed as a business. Then I'm going to talk about some much more cool, that isn't a thing. I'm going to talk about some other cool people and some like, they'd kind of fit into probably the bracket of kind of creatives. And some of those are customers and some of those are people that have actually worked with us at Awesome Merch and have gone on to kind of do their own thing. And then hopefully we'll have time for a few questions at the end if anyone has got any. Cool, so what is Awesome Merchandise? So basically, at Awesome Merchandise, we create custom print and merchandise for all kinds of people. Stickers for artists, t-shirts for bands. We even make badges. At the moment, we're making a bunch of like different political party and statement kind of badges at the moment with the elections and stuff that's going on. And you can see up there, it's just kind of a small selection of the things that we make. We run some other business as well. So Awesome Distro runs like e-commerce stores for bands. We launched a startup last year called Merched, which allows you to go online and sell t-shirts without any kind of upfront cost. It's a little bit like a Kickstarter for t-shirts almost. And I also used to run club nights in Leeds and Manchester called Mustache for 5 years as well. But kind of Awesome Merchandise is the kind of main business that we run. It's by far the best one that we've done. And yeah, you can kind of see a selection of the stuff that we do up there. People tend to use the things that we make to either sell or promote themselves. So yeah, it's usually within a kind of creative or business endeavor that they're using these products. And to give you a kind of idea of like where Awesome Merchandise is today, that didn't work very well, sorry. Let's fast forward to here. Okay, cool. So today we're up to 70 people, and we're actually hiring a couple more roles at the moment. So yeah, hopefully it'll kind of hover around 70, 75 this year, but we've kind of been growing pretty quickly the last 18 months. We currently make 500 products. We're actually on a mission to make over 2,000 products, and this is 99% of which are made like in-house in our factory down the road in Leeds, just behind TGI Fridays on Kirkstall Road if you've been there for burgers or milkshakes. And the exciting thing for us now, like at the scale that we're at, is that we've now made things for 60,000 plus customers, and we've made 45 million items to date, should surpass 50 million by the end of the year. And why do I say that's exciting? Well, I think it's exciting both for us as a company, but also maybe for you guys, in that amongst those like 60,000 people, we've seen so many instances of people doing creative things and making either a business or a kind of part-time kind of wage out of like leveraging their creativity on the internet, which kind of goes back to my other point. Excuse the formatting on some of these slides. I think they might be a little bit out. Cool. So obviously like 45 million items and 60,000 customers. Like when I was kind of writing this down, I was like, whoa, that's like crazy, like high numbers. And even like 2 or 3 years ago, I wouldn't have expected to kind of been like looking at those kind of like figures, and probably I can understand that might be a little bit daunting, but I want to kind of give you an insight into how Charlotte and I kind of started the business, and I think hopefully that will be kind of like useful for you. So basically we started back in 2005, 2 weeks before we were due to come to university in Leeds, and I basically went on the internet and spent £350 on this handheld badge machine that you can see in my hands there. And then we set about making 500,000 badges by hand on our bedroom floor. Yeah, and it was over a kind of period of about 2 years, which was interesting and fun in some ways. We set about kind of getting customers by just setting up a really simple website back in the kind of early days. And this is an example of the website. It's the earliest one I can get from a thing called Wayback When Machine. I think this is from around 2007, but it's maybe the second or third like website that we had. It was just a very static website. It had a price list. We only had like 1 or 2 products at the time, which were just badges. And there was, just a contact page, and people just used to email in, and then we'd just send them a PayPal link and sell them 100 badges for £15, and then make them and ship them. But yeah, we did this for like 2 years, and the way that we got customers in the very early days was pretty much like from 3 methods. We used to post on a punk rock message forum called Punktastic, and that was like full of like really small bands, and we'd get the occasional order from those bands, and then they kind of tell their friends. The second thing that we did maybe like a year in was use MySpace. I'm looking around, I'm not sure that like many of you would be like old enough to use MySpace, but we did have like a sneaky like bot on there that you could like target bands and send them messages as well, which worked really well. But it was also the downfall of that platform. The third thing that we did was after about a year, we started taking out adverts in like national music magazines, so Rock Sound and NME and a couple of other magazines. And even though we were in our bedroom at the time in a 10-person shared house up in Hyde Park, we were placing these kind of like quarter-page, half-page ads in these magazines, and that really kind of helped us get like a bunch of like new clients from around the country, and it really kind of gave the impression of us like being professional and frankly like bigger than we were. But yeah, it kind of worked, and these kind of few things just kind of putting ourselves out there like started to build like a healthy kind of customer base. And like we said, kind of during these 2-year period, we made like 500,000 badges by hand, like on a bedroom floor. Being in a 10-person house and like filling the corridors with like boxes, not a great idea in terms of like getting your housemates to like you. They were very understanding, but it kind of got to the point in 2008 when we needed to start getting some help. So we took this very small unit. It was about 350 square feet on the edge of Leeds city centre. And the initial idea was to basically continue going to university and make badges like in between lectures and things like that, and just to hire a couple of like part-time students to come and help us make stuff. It very quickly didn't work out that way because we were kind of flooded with a few big orders, most notably an 80,000 badge order that we had to make within 3 weeks. And at this time I decided to just like quit university to concentrate on my lucrative badge making career, which was an interesting conversation with my mom. Charlotte was studying like for law as well in her like final year, I think. And yeah, she was kind of coming back and pinning badges and packaging badges as well instead of kind of like studying. But it was quite interesting like quitting uni to do something like dumb like make badges, because all of a sudden we had like an incentive to try and like really make it work out. And it's around this time we started looking into adding more products and how we could make things better for customers and kind of service kind of customers' requests basically. So we started kind of buying some other small equipment and like expanding the product range out a little bit. And yeah, like I say, I think that's probably the turning point of us becoming like a proper business. When we did that, and kind of quickly after we continued to kind of scale up and grow and employ people and just like look at ways to make things kind of continuously better. And I think the point that I want to get across here is it took us 2 years to get to the point where this was like a scalable thing. And I think whatever you kind of go out into the world to do or try, it will take a little while. We managed to kind of like get up and running fairly quickly, but it did take like 2 years until we were able to like fully kind of support like multiple people within the business. So yeah. And this is kind of more of what we look like today. So it's changed very drastically over the kind of course of the last like 10 years since the last kind of picture. Loads and loads of stuff has happened in that kind of time frame, and I was like struggling to, without kind of waffling on too much, I was struggling to condense that all down into like 5 minutes. But to give you an idea, we've moved factory kind of like 5 times. I was thinking about how many people have probably worked at Awesome as well, and it's probably in the region of like 200, 220, I'd imagine. They've kind of come and gone at this point. And obviously we've gone through like a program of going from those like 1 or 2 products up to kind of 500 now. In the last kind of 18 months, we've took the factory next door and really kind of ramped up like the product offering and also the kind of staffing numbers to kind of help us in a number of areas. Yeah, cool. And I think, yeah, the interesting thing is like people still talk to us today and like come in and see us and think, oh wow, this is maybe like an overnight success, but to get to this point, it has taken kind of 12 years of like slowly building. It's not, slowly building kind of week on week, kind of month on month, and just kind of servicing customers and trying to make things better within the company to the point where, yeah, it's, I don't know, people like just kind of discovering us and but thinking it's like this new kind of cool thing or whatever. Sorry if that didn't make much sense. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. And then I'll try to summarize kind of over those 12 years what the kind of keys to that growth, to the growth have maybe been. And the main one really is trying to kind of create awesome customer experiences. So we're really super hot on like customer experience at Awesome Merchandise. We have like a whole bunch of people now that are working for us that are focused on like answering emails and live chats and phone calls. But it's really just an extension of what we were doing even in the early days. So no matter what you're kind of looking to do, make sure that you service like your potential customers or just the people in your network, and you just speak to them in a friendly way and you get back to them efficiently. We've had a strong focus on making things better, so whether that's trying to ship things out faster or make the quality of products better, that's been a constant. The continuous improvement cycle is something that we're still working on today, and we have like loads of programs and initiatives in place to try and constantly just make everything that we're doing as a company better. We've always tried to be as consistent as possible as well, and by that I mean we can be like reliable for customers, and we do the things that we say that we're going to do, which I think is it's something that is quite simple, but it is effective, and it's definitely been kind of key to our growth in terms of making sure we deliver on just getting orders to people on time. And we've constantly also invested in ourselves and taken risks as a company. So we don't have any like big investors or anything like that in the company. The company's kind of grown organically over the last 12 years, and we've constantly like put money back into the company to buy equipment or to hire new people. And then we've taken some risks on like launching new product ranges. For instance, when we launched like screen printing, which is how we kind of produce all of the t-shirts and tote bags that we make, it was like a big deal kind of financially. We had to go and get some like loans and stuff like that, and it was a big risk for us as a company, but we're confident in our ability to kind of, I guess, make good decisions and that service customers. So yeah, it's been a constant theme. And then I kind of just wanted to touch on like a lot of the growth has been from just building momentum and then like capitalizing on that. So kind of starting to the first 100,000 people, the first 100 to 1,000 people that you get on Instagram or something like that. It's continuously like posting on social networks or continuously like launching new products. we found that kind of by just keeping going and building momentum, the company's got bigger and bigger, and we've got more and more kind of customers and a bigger audience for what we're doing. And I was looking at like kind of quotes. This is like a variant on like quite a common quote, but I thought it was kind of interesting. Mark Zuckerberg said the only strategy that is guaranteed to fail is not taking risks. And I think I kind of liked it, and I think if anyone's like scared about doing their own thing or putting themselves out there, you're only going to live once, and we figure we might as well kind of go for it, and thought that was a nice kind of quote. And I wanted to go back to this at this point, that I really think that there is no better time to either start a business or to do something creative. And I'm going to kind of quickly show you a few examples of people that we are lucky to kind of either call friends or customers, and might have been sitting kind of where you're sitting now just a few years ago. So this is my friend Sean. He started working at Awesome Much back in 2012, and he is now a screen print poster artist and also designer. When we met him, like the week after, he decided that he was going to his first ever poster show out in the US to display his kind of work for bands that he'd done. And he's kind of built that up over a period of about 5 years to the point where he's now like, he just does like poster art full time, and he shows at probably about 10 to 15 shows every year. And he's getting really popular kind of and shipping stuff out all around the world. He's had like exhibits in Chicago and LA. He also set up and organizes the Northern Craft Show, which has started in Leeds the last kind of 12 months. So I think they've got the third show for creatives in the summer. And he has regular design clients such as Spotify, as well as co-hosting a creative podcast called Adventures in Design that might be cool for you to check out if any of you are designers or thinking about like doing your own kind of thing. They talk a lot about that, being freelance or creating your own business, and it's pretty cool. This is Katie Abbey, who is a customer of Awesome Merchandise, and I was lucky enough to kind of meet for the first time about a month ago. Katie designs, illustrates, kind of inspiring, motivational characters, and they've usually got some kind of pun to them. So you can see up there, it says, "Do not be afraid, the crumpet of courage." She's got a whole bunch of other kind of crazy things. She does like usually a daily Instagram showing like just a kind of illustration, kind of doodle thing. Remarkably, she didn't have an Etsy 2.5 years ago. Today, she's got around 31,500 sales on Etsy. We've been like lucky to make a bunch of the stuff that she kind of sells. And that's kind of led to her also getting her illustrated products stocked in Paper Chase, Urban Outfitters, Asda, Tesco, and a whole bunch more kind of like a whole other bunch of places across the kind of country. And she's also been illustrating a bunch of kind of children's books. And this like kind of the momentum that she's built has kind of stemmed from this basically setting up an Instagram account and doing this like daily doodle, and then it's gone much wider since she kind of launched on Etsy and then has built up a customer base there for her products. And then finally, this is Tom Joy. He's a photographer based here in Leeds. Met Tom probably around 4 years ago when he was just about to leave university up in Aberdeen. And he at the time was doing like club night photography and doing a few kind of clothing company shoots for like small independent clothing companies. And Tom moved to Leeds straight after uni and has slowly built up kind of contacts and clients around the city. He's just had an exhibition on down at Leadstock this weekend. He does a project called Leeds Lurking, which is like going out in the night and taking interesting photos of like abandoned stuff or just kind of eerie stuff in Leeds. He's done a bunch of beer can collaborations with Northern Monk Brewery. He's pretty much the go-to photographer now for a bunch of the restaurants and venues across Leeds as well. And he's kind of moved into a lot of fitness and lifestyle kind of work as well. On top of the kind of stuff he does in Leeds, he's worked like with B Street out in Paris, Nike for like Nike Air Max Day, and he's done a bunch of stuff recently for Gymshark as well as kind of many other people. So Tom's a great example of like a photographer that's really got himself out there and slowly built up his basically contact base and client base by kind of just getting out there and like meeting people and then slowly building things up. And he's got a really strong Instagram that he kind of maintains. And before that, I think he used stuff like Flickr in the early days and some other kind of platforms to just like get his work out there. And I'm going to kind of wrap up now, and I don't want to kind of stand here and tell you how to go and make it in life, but I was thinking about what I thought my values on kind of work and what kind of successful kind of career kind of would look like. And I kind of summed it up with these kind of points. And I think this is what's important to me in terms of what I do in my work. I think it's important that you enjoy what you do, that you work hard, that you're consistent, that you're patient in what you do. Anything will take, don't expect things to just happen overnight. All the success stories that we've seen from customers and friends, they've all been, it does take a while to kind of start building that momentum, and you need to kind of stick with it. So my main thing would be patient. Be nice to people, because that gets you a long way, and like kind of making friends or like being friendly to contacts and stuff like really helps in whatever you do. Invest in yourself. I'd kind of say with that as well, believe in yourself, put yourself out there. Keep learning. It was something that during the kind of 10 years that we were kind of building Awesome Merch up, there were periods where we like were pretty heads down and probably didn't keep learning. And when you kind of get out and you come to events like this, or you like make acquaintance with someone that's maybe in the field that you're in, it can be quite inspiring, and it's a catalyst for you kind of going out and doing more. So I'd encourage you to do that. Check out resources and examples of people that have done what you want to do online. Maybe reach out to them. And finally, have fun with whatever you do. If you don't have fun, there's not much point doing it. So we try and have fun, even though we now run a fairly serious business, I guess, with 70 people working there. But we try and have a good time while we do it. Thank you.
Questions?
Yeah, I can do questions.
Thank you, Luke, for the presentation. We are now opening up the floor for some questions, if you guys have any for Luke.
When people come to you with, do they come to you with a design, or do you do your own design? I just wondered who did the design, whether it was in-house or whether the customer did it.
Yeah, so usually the customer sends their design to us. So we don't offer a design service, mainly because we are focused on like the production of stuff. But the kind of with that, we do help people with